This is a short one like me. Dudes with Brews on the Porch presents Michael Brews.
Dude. Craft Brews and Casual Conversations. Joined with me, actor Erik Fellows, as well as sports enthusiast and a lot of other titles. Erik, how you doing today?
I'm good, man. How you doing? Thanks for having me.
Yeah, thanks for hopping on the show. And before we talk about the new flick, I did see that you were a part of the series Days of Our Lives for a little bit. And it made me think of my mom because, I'm pretty sure that show has about 800 episodes. And I don't know.
Oh, God, I think it's more than that, man.
Yeah, probably, but it's a ton.
You think 800 or you think it's been 800?
I don't know how many there are. There are probably over 1,000 episodes.
I think we're into the they're into. I lost count. I think it's into the thousands. I think it's like it might be 3,000 episodes.
That's crazy.
It's been around 50 something years. It's insane.
Yeah,
it's crazy.
It made me think of my mom because back in the day in elementary school, she would always be watching Days of Our Lives, and of course, I was like 6-7 years old. I didn't know what was happening, but I know one girl got possessed by the devil a couple times, and that's about all I know about it.
Sounds about right. It's being possessed. Evil twins, you die, you come back as, a monkey. I honestly don't know. It is the craziest storylines. And then the funny thing is they just keep repeating themselves within the same sort of understanding over all these years. It's very, very funny. But you know what? People love it, man.
Yeah. Yeah, they really do. So you're here to talk about your latest film, Break Even, and it's an action flick.
Yeah.
And so what's the difference between shooting a soap opera versus an action flick? Because soap operas, it's very, you have two characters, kind of like close up, wide shots a little bit. There's not, from my recollection, a lot of action.
No, you're right. They're vastly different, man. Just even the setup. So I'll start with the soap opera. Actually, it's funny because going into working on Days of Our Lives, I was on it for about 2.5 years. Interesting enough, you hear all these stories about soap operas that you only get one take, and they move fast. They shoot sometimes 2 episodes in a day, which is like 90 pages. Mm-hmm. Sometimes they shoot 3 episodes in a day, which is unreal to ever think you're going to shoot, 120, 180 pages in a day. That's just unheard of. But they do. Let me tell you this right now, they do. It is only one take. You better bring your best take. Mm-hmm. And you learn quickly to be on your game and be prepared. There isn't like time to mess around. It's a machine. It's an absolute machine that they've been repeating day in and day out for 50 something years.
Yeah.
So they obviously have their machine pretty tight knitted and understand how to work it. So the difference between soaps and anything really, even shooting, a primetime soap is still vastly different.
Okay.
When you're shooting a primetime series, not to veer from the break even part, but the comparison, but I just let you kind of understand like how much different soaps are. You have like an 8 to 10 day period that you're shooting a primetime show, mm-hmm. whether it be Grey's Anatomy or CSI or NCIS, something like that. They're all within the genre of soaps. It's just a primetime soap, a detective primetime soap,
sure.
A medical primetime. So how they shoot and schedule, the way they shoot and how they edit, everything is just completely different. There is a specific way, a strategic way that they do soaps with their storylines and how they deliver them. It's just very, very, very different. People sometimes like, oh, that's so soapy, this and that. I will tell you this, some of the best training I've ever had was on a soap, just because, I look back at my stuff back then and I see my stuff now, and obviously I've come a long way. But there is a technique into performing on a soap, and you have to kind of abide by those rules. It doesn't work if you try to play it within the genre of like a film or even a primetime show. It's just different pacing.
Mm-hmm.
It's all blocked out a certain way. Now you block on every set, but In a film, you have a lot more of a range and room to live more real life.
Yeah.
Even in prime time, they've actually, they've kind of took it in a direction where you feel like you're watching more of like an hour-long movie at this point, the way they're shooting it visually. So soaps have just they've stuck into that sort of pattern where it works for them for the daytime viewers, and they have a huge fan base. I would say it's like a boot camp for acting. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like you have to come in there prepared, know your lines, know your marks. You get there early in the morning. You dry block at about 6:30 a.m. You're on set by, depending on when you're up, but most likely at about 8 or 9 o'clock, and you're out by like 2 or 3.
Damn, that's crazy.
And you knock out maybe at the latest 4. You knock out maybe 2 episodes, and right there alone is tremendous amounts of dialogue.
Yeah, absolutely.
So, and on a movie set, depending on the type of film, you asked about an action film. Well, shooting Break Even was was an amazing time. We had a blast. But we were shooting on boats, and we were shooting on, in fast cars, speedboats, and it's not easy shooting on the water.
Mm-hmm.
That was my first time ever shooting a full feature on a water. I filmed like a commercial or, some job, print work or campaigns, modeling, and maybe commercials a few times on water, but that's very different.
Yeah.
Shooting while trying to get coverage, dialogue, people not getting seasick. We dealt with a lot of people getting seasick.
Yeah, I probably would too.
A few times, yeah.
Yeah.
Not fun.
I bet.
So, but yeah, vastly different. I mean, soaps are they're generated in a way where it's very strategic. It's more like a 9-to-5 job.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean, you go in, obviously you're performing, so it's a little different. It's like shooting a play almost every day.
Yeah, I was just gonna say, have you had any experience like doing like theater? Because it sounds like you get the one shot that you got to really do it. And
no, I never. Acting was never my first choice in life. It wasn't something I kind of fell into it.
Mm-hmm.
I got my interest into it being kind of like introduced from sort of a friend of an ex-girlfriend, their kid. We did modeling and commercials, and I'm from Maryland, and the mom asked me if I'd ever thought about modeling, and I said no. I grew up playing basketball, man. I played high school ball. I was going to play professionally in Italy. My senior year, I got hurt, so I kind of diverted my plans a bit. Didn't know what I wanted to do.
Mm-hmm.
I wish I would have kind of still went on that journey a bit for a few years, at least went overseas and played some ball, but I didn't, so you can't regret. And I kind of just got introduced, signed with the agent in DC, ended up moving to New York, ended up getting agency in New York. And this is the short end of it, because I know we probably don't have that much time, but yeah, I mean, I basically started getting kind of like an interest. I felt like I had like a knack for taking pictures in commercials and stuff like that. And then, a lot of people I would work with would say, hey man, you got a personality of an actor. Your look too. I'm only 5'10", so modeling was only going to go so far.
Mm-hmm.
No, I mean, I took it pretty far, but it was like, that wasn't like my main interest. I wasn't wanting to, be a model the rest of my life. It was great. I made some money.
Yeah.
But it gave me an intro way into the theatrical TV film world and commercial world. So I got set up kind of at first. I got really lucky. It wasn't so easy in New York at first. I mean, I had a smaller agency for modeling, and then I met a fashion stylist, ended up shaving my head because I kept getting turned down saying I was too short and I was too commercial looking. And then I went super edgy. All the same agencies he sent me back to act like they never met me. And they're like, oh yeah, we love you. And then I ended up getting very lucky and signing with one of the top ones. And that kind of opened the doors. They sent me over to, a very big theatrical agency called Innovative Artist, and ended up signing me commercially and theatrically. And then I started studying. I was studying Meisner in Uptown New York. Still at that point, very green. You know what I mean? Like, I had the ability to do it. I just didn't know what any of it meant. Right. I didn't know how to create my confidence within itself and just do, instead of, I was always like, overthinking it.
Sure.
Actors obviously are greatly known for overthinking things. Mm-hmm. So it took me years. I mean, I worked a bunch, but it took me years to finally like just be me and take control and gain that confidence, and people respect my work. But that's just, it's experience.
Yeah.
But I had to translate it to basketball, because my work ethic for basketball since I was 8 I lived and breathed it. That's all I did.
Mm-hmm.
That's all I knew. And I just wanted to be in the NBA, but obviously very, very tough thing to do. But I was good enough to at least play, semi-pro over in Italy. But it was weird to go from something you care so much about every day, playing ice storms, to all of a sudden just not doing it.
Right.
And what am I going to do? I wasn't a big school guy, so I wasn't sure what I wanted to do. So this was kind of like let's check it out and let's see what happens here. And then I eventually over time started gaining a passion for it. And then I realized how to transfer that effort that I used to put in day out to the acting world,
right.
the business world of entertainment. And it's 150% effort every second, man. Like it's, you know what I mean? So I'm grateful for everything that the opportunities I've been given. And I'm happy, it didn't take off when I was younger. I had a lot of great opportunities younger, very close on many things, like a lot of stories you hear from bigger actors and stuff.
Right.
But it's seeming to now finally taking its momentum where I have a little bit of, power and confidence on my side where people come to me now and offer me stuff because I've, spent years proving it. But it wasn't easy. I definitely times I wanted to give up. I'm not gonna lie to you.
For sure. Yeah, I bet it's a big competition in that kind of industry and everything. Even like, and now, when you say you transcribe it from playing basketball, basketball in itself is every game is a competition. You're also competing with against teammates to get that starting position. And then if you're trying to get drafted, you're competing against. So you definitely are able to transcribe that.
Well, I had a very killer mentality, killer instinct in the game of basketball when I was coming up, started playing at, 7 and 8 years old. I just had a knack for it, and I had an athleticism for basketball,
mm-hmm.
and I wanted just to be the best I possibly could be, and no one would stop me. Like no one could ever get in my head, and if they did, I was able to overcome it because I was that confident at my size and my age. I just play with adults. At 11, I was playing with 20-year-olds, and awesome. I was learning how to play street ball and score, and they'd give me the ball at the end of the game to score. I wanted that confidence in acting to believe if you can walk into a room and people look at you like that, I had to be able to translate that in order for me to figure out the entertainment world.
Yeah.
So
that's great. And that's even like a way just for people listening to do anything. Like if you're passionate about something, you're trying something new, take it with the same passion. And a little side note, I'm located in Wisconsin. It's been a big week. Our Greek freak is staying home, and we're very excited about that. So
nice.
Shout out to my man Giannis.
Cheesehead.
Oh yeah. I ironically enough work full time at a cheese factory currently. So yeah, cheese and beer. That's what we're all about. And
who doesn't like cheese and beer?
Yeah, I also saw that you were did a little bit of the Miller Lite campaign a little bit.
Oh God, yeah, I did. I forgot. I did. Actually, I did. Oh, you're talking about the commercial?
Commercial. Yeah.
First ever alcohol, and it's actually kind of funny. That just reminded me. I did a Coors Light a billboard in LA when I first got out here. I think maybe the first year. And to shoot an alcohol ad, you have to be 25.
Okay.
And I got out here. I was only 21, so I had to go to like the not so nice area of Los Angeles to get a fake ID on the street.
That's awesome.
No, like I literally did to prove that I was 25, even though like the lamination on it like was falling apart.
Yeah.
Got there, but they let me do it. But yeah, I did a Coors Light ad when I was 21 illegally. But hey,
the silver bullet. That brings back some high school memories.
Oh man, I remember those days.
Are you a beer guy outside of that? Like currently, are you a craft beer?
I mean, I became more of a wine guy.
Okay.
I like my white wines. Like I like a Sauvignon Blanc. I like a Chardonnay. Those are really the only two that I'll drink now. I used to drink, a little bit harder.
Sure,
sure. Some vodka. I'll drink a nice whiskey on the rocks.
Yeah.
I was just in Mexico, even though that's a place you drink tequila, but I was drinking a lot of Black Label.
All right. That's pretty cool.
So I was enjoying that. But yeah, I drink white wine, Sauvignon Blanc, a Chardonnay were good for me. But I like beer. It's just very filling.
Oh, for sure.
And I just get tired. I just get sleepy on it now.
Yeah. I mean, we, the podcast is craft beers, and it was usually just shooting the breeze with some people, but yeah, sometimes I gotta take a breather off of it because you get pretty full. And there's been episodes where me and my co-host will, we get together after dinner and I can't even finish it because I've eaten.
Well, that's my point. It's so hard to drink beer with food.
Right.
I felt like it was a lot easier when you were younger.
For sure.
But I'll drink a Stella. I like a nice Stella.
All right, yeah, Stella's good. I don't mind Stella's. I just my problem is I try to drink every beer in the world, so it's not often that I revisit them.
That do, trust me.
Yeah,
they're beer connoisseurs. Like they'll go to. There's a lot of different places out in LA where you can go check out a couple good different beer places that manufacture their own beers and stuff. Like my fiance's brother-in-law, he loves beer.
Yeah, it's good
Orange or Oktoberfest. So like he all kinds of stuff. So he's had me try, but I'm like, Ricky, I don't know, man.
Yeah, you got do you. That's all good. So let's talk a little bit about the movie. It's out now, video on demand and DVD where you get DVDs.
I know.
Talk a little. Yeah, tell us a little bit about the film.
Okay, so Break Even. I'm actually really thrilled about this movie, man. It's fun, fast paced, visual film. It's kind of like in the vein of like an Into the Blue, Little Fool's Gold mix. There's some comedic timing in it. A lower, smaller end of like a Fast and Furious. It's a heist movie. Nice. It's about 4 friends that end up going on like a sailing excursion. End up going for a dive. Me and my character's Dash. And my co-star, 3 other lead co-stars. One is Brent Bailey, plays the character of Sebastian. And then my girlfriend in the movie, her name is Lisa Reyes. She plays Rosie. And then the lead girl is Tassia Teles from the CW's The 100.
Nice.
She plays Echo in The 100. Yeah, she's great. It's a female can I say badass?
Yeah, for sure.
It's a female badass driven film. The antagonist, the villain, is a woman played by Joanna Pacula. She's been around a long time. She does a heck of a job. Actually, it's a great cast altogether. We have a nice cameo in there by Steve Guttenberg from back in the day. Yes,
Steve Guttenberg, Short Circuit.
Yes, Cocoon, Police Academy.
Yeah.
3 Men and a Little Baby. I only got to meet him briefly, but I didn't get to film with him. He was in a separate segment of the film. But man, it was directed by Shane Stanley. He's been around for a long time, but he produced The Gridiron Gang with The Rock.
Nice.
That was his first big hit. And actually, funny enough, The Rock referred Steve Guttenberg for the movie.
Really?
Because I guess Guttenberg was on Ballers.
Okay.
And Shane stayed very, very close friends with The Rock over the years. So he asked Rock, from what I understand, he asked The Rock, do you recommend anyone for this particular part? And he goes, yeah, this Steve Guttenberg. He was on Ballers, he'll be great.
That's awesome.
So yeah, I watched Steve Guttenberg on KTLA on the news thing when they were doing some press for it before we released, talk about it. I knew that happened, but the way he explains is pretty cool.
Right.
So we got Ivan Sergey. It's been in a ton of stuff. James Callis. We've got Mo Galini from Fast and Furious 2. Nice. We've got there's a ton of her name is Ariane Mandy. I'm making sure I say the name right. Ariane Mandy from the L Word New Generation. She's in it. Really cool ensemble cast, and the 4 leads are great. So to get back to what basically we're on a sailing trip. Me and Brent go down for a dive. Now this particular area, we know it's kind of like has this weird aura about it. Called Santa Muerte, which is the Black Lady. It's a Spanish kind of myth of the Dark Devil woman.
Mm-hmm.
And this whole area is kind of like, I don't want to give too much away, but it's spoke about before we go for the dive. So it's a weird area. So going down there, we might see something odd. It's a very much also a drug smuggling area. So we go down for a dive. We end up coming across a cage of what we think is drugs. So we start, packages keep popping to the top of the water. The girls are watching. We don't know what they are yet. Mm-hmm. We come up to the top of the water. Their eyes light up. We start throwing it up. We tell her to do the honor. She opens it up. We end up finding $50 million.
Nice.
So from here on out, without giving too much away, it's just a fast pace from here on out. We're We're stealing yachts. We're stealing speedboats. We're moving, boom, 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 trying to figure out a way to get this dirty money clean. My character, Dash, is kind of that boisterous, sort of like in your face kind of character, but at the same time, he's kind of a down on his luck kind of guy who's never been able to really make much money in his life. He kind of scrapes by. Him and his girlfriend, always promising her they're going to have a better life. He works on boats. And finding this money to him is like the biggest deal in the world.
Yeah.
Like this is like, oh my God, life changing. So no matter what happens, Dash wants this money.
Mm-hmm.
And Jack's character, played by Tassia, happens to know how to get this money clean. There's a twist and a catch in this movie. I can't say too much.
Right.
So she says, trust me, because she says to throw the money back in the water. And I say, whoa, what do you thought? And it's funny because I actually just posted a clip on my Instagram. My latest post is a little clip from that moment when she is saying that it's pretty much $50 million of just F you money, and I get pissed. So that's kind of where it starts. So she goes, you trust me, I'll show you how to get it clean, but I need you to trust me and not ask any questions. Yeah. So you watch her go on this journey, a fast-paced journey of causing some mayhem and getting chased by the corrupt DEA and the drug lord.
That's pretty sweet.
Getting the money clean, hopefully getting away from these bad guys. But can't tell you what happens.
For sure. Yeah, that sounds great. What would you do? I mean, you've probably been asked this a million times already, but you're in that real life situation where you stumble upon a large sum of money. You take it. I mean,
we were asked this question. We did a virtual launch event on December 4th for us four, and then the studio did it. And since we can't do a red carpet,
right?
We did an event for the fans and stuff, and that was one of the questions. I mean, I basically said initially, I said I was going to invest my money into a second break even and third break even, up the ante, up the budget, make everything even bigger.
Right.
And try to capitalize. Obviously, give to my family and honestly to people that absolutely need it. Especially you ask that question now because this year has been clearly a year to remember.
Right.
For every person in this world, and I don't know. I mean, you look at it's very sad to see all the people that are suffering, and everyone's suffering, but like losing everything.
Right.
So you ask me that question now. I would want to get people out of. I don't know what you do with that kind of money. You know what I mean? You want to help everybody you possibly can. There's no right answer to it.
Right.
I do know after helping the people that I can figure out to help, and my family, and putting some money away and investing correctly, definitely would buy some cars. That is the truth. Buy a boat. Buy a moderate sized nice house in a few places.
Right.
And just enjoy life and pay for everyone who I ever hung out with and give people very large sums of money for Christmas.
That'd be sweet. Yeah, I definitely would probably do the same. I'd buy a lot of shoes too. I have a.
Do you like shoes?
Yeah, I've turned into a sneakerhead in the last probably like year and a half, 2 years. A friend of mine got me into them, and I look at them every day. And
what sneakers are we talking about?
Predominantly Nikes. I got a couple pair of some Jordan 1s. Got a couple Jordan 3s. Yeah. I have 3 pairs of the Zoom Freaks, the Giannis Antetokounmpo shoes. One of them, and I saw that you did a voice for 2K. One of them is the 2K shoes, the purple ones.
Yeah, I was a voice. I was actually me. I was myself. My whole body, my voice. I'm actually a player.
That's crazy. That's awesome.
Yeah. That was wild because I played basketball, so that was really wild for me to do.
Yeah. Yeah, so I've got a small collection. Got some Kyrie Irvings and stuff like that, but I try to limit it. I'm actually getting married next month, and
congratulations!
Thank you. And then me and my fiance, we got a couple custom pairs of Nikes that we're gonna be wearing down the aisle.
That's really cool, man.
Yeah, I'm excited about it.
So she's dope. She likes. Okay, cool. That's cool. I like that.
Yeah, as a basketball guy, you probably, do you like check out the kicks every once in a while?
For me, I grew up a huge Michael Jordan fan, and now that I've done a handful of podcasts the last week and a half, 2 weeks, and many articles I've talked about this, but I don't know how many people actually really know that So at 14, I actually got the Jumpman tattooed on my arm.
Oh, really? Nice.
And then I went back and got the 23 added like 6 months later. Since then I've had it lasered off. But if you find old pictures of me online somewhere with my shirt off on my left shoulder, I'll have the Jumpman logo.
Yeah.
Well into my career, I mean, I started getting lasered off at about 33. By the time I was 34, it was off completely. You couldn't even tell if anything was ever there.
That's crazy. Is it
Yeah,
painful?
I thought it was just time, but I was obviously a huge Michael Jordan fan.
Yeah.
Like that's literally the motivation that I even still look at when I need to get motivated in my life. So which brings back to 2K20. I ended up working in my scenes in the story of the game. My scenes are with Scottie Pippen.
Crazy.
Which is so wild. But even smaller world is that Scottie, my stepson, he was playing in the 7th grade, 8th grade team at Sierra Canyon out here in LA, where LeBron's kids go now.
Okay.
And Scottie's kids play there. Well, his kid now, he's got the youngest ones playing there, but his other one just graduated. And the youngest one, Justin Pippen, plays with Sebastian, my stepson, on the team. But I was always so scared to say hi to Scottie because I grew up the biggest Bulls fan. I think I was. And my girl's dad was always like, you got to say hi. You got to say hi.
Yeah.
And I go, no, I can't. Like, I've worked with a lot of big people. And I'm like, nope, can't do it. He ends up getting the game, or he ends up being in the game, but not just a player, but like has a whole storyline with him, giving us this pep talk in this locker room when we're players and we're looking up to Scottie Pippen. So when I got the set, my friend actually directed the game. That's not necessarily how I got it. I actually had to audition. It wasn't an easy process, but he helped get me in the door. So my girl happened to tell Scottie Pippen at one of the games that I wasn't at, hey, my fiance is going to be doing the 2K20 with you, but I'm not telling him that I'm telling you. He was nervous to talk to you, but you're going to meet him. You have scenes with him. So when I got the set, my boy Sheldon calls me out and he goes, hey, Erik. He goes, Scottie, look, so this is my boy I've known for a long time. He goes, he used to have Michael Jordan tattooed on his arm. And Scottie starts laughing. And he goes, wait a minute. I'm like, yeah. I said, your youngest played with my son, Sebastian. He goes, wait a minute. He goes, wait a minute. Your Latino's fiance, she told me I'd be meeting you. It was like so random, man. And then I talked to him the whole time. It was just like the coolest situation.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Scared to talk to him.
I would be too. Yeah, it's always like I've met a handful of people that I've looked up to and or even like musicians and stuff, but it's the ones that are from your childhood that it's just like you don't want to approach them as an adult. If like you are introduced to somebody that you like an actor or somebody, it's easier to talk to them. But then it's somebody like, oh, I've been watching you since I was a kid. Yeah, that's a whole different game. Yeah,
no, I there's only 2 other occasions. Years ago I did a movie with Val Kilmer.
Nice.
And like a legendary Oscar-nominated and winning cast of like legends, like Peter Falk, Diane Ladd, Bruce Dern, Lynn Shay, Rip Torn, Blake Clark, Val Kilmer. It was crazy. And I got this role, a dark comedy film, and I played opposite to Val Kilmer. And, growing up, he's Iceman. You know what I mean? I was a huge Top Gun fan, Tom Cruise fan, and that's Iceman. So it's like so surreal to like never even have wanted to even be in this business. And then all of a sudden I'm playing opposite in a dark comedy next to Val Kilmer. It was just so, I've definitely had some random times. And the other one where I was starstruck, which is, I never liked that. And this is after I've worked with a ton of people, was Jennifer Lopez.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Yeah, I did a handful of music videos and I played a love interest to her in one of her music videos years ago. And it took me like a whole day, like, oh my God, like
to process.
Like I'm hugging and kissing Jennifer Lopez. Like it was just so weird. But then it just became normal. But that was kind of crazy.
I can imagine. Yeah. It's, a lot of people, when they think about acting, it's like, oh, they're at a different level or something like that. It's like, no, really, they're just people, and they're fans of everyone that you're a fan of too. So that's pretty funny to hear.
Dude, the things I've seen, like that week that I shot Jennifer Lopez, actually I got fortunate enough. I shot Jennifer Lopez video on Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and then I booked a Catherine McPhee video Thursday and Fridays when she was just out of American Idol. And before she became like a bigger actress, and it was the second music video she did called Love Story. And she goes, did I hear right that you literally were working with J-Lo yesterday? So you were kissing J-Lo yesterday and you're kissing me today? She goes, so I'm kissing J-Lo. And she was more starstruck than I was. And she was already above me. It's just so crazy. Yeah, they're people, man.
Right.
It's just, we all start in the scenario of like, what are we doing?
Right.
Like, what is going on here? And then you just are doing it. And then things sometimes gain success. And and then you talk about them.
Yeah, absolutely, man. That's awesome. It sounds like you're really,
Oh yeah.
sounds like you're crushing it, and you're having a good time with it. And
I'm just trying to stay happy, man, and live my life and send some positive vibes out to this world right now, because we can't start 2021 the way this is.
I know.
You know, like it's got to move on. We've got to move on.
Yeah, absolutely. I agree, and I think better times are ahead, and
absolutely.
I hope a sense of unity is ahead in a lot of regards, but time will tell. But all we can do is try to put our good energy into the world, and hopefully it reciprocates back to everybody else.
Well, I think enough people turn this negative into a positive, you'll see the ripple effect of life just becoming more of a positive. And I mean, that goes from everything from the media being absolutely insane to the fact of social media. People just need to transition their thoughts into more of a positive way, instead of trying to find the negative in everything and pushing the evil on all these things, trying to find the good in it. I mean, that's the only way to prevail from this. You can't keep going down this dark tunnel. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like, you have to put the good energy out there, and it starts with even a conversation like this. And it's a ripple effect with people. You just put the energy out there. They'll eventually listen, and if they don't, that's on them.
Right. Exactly. Awesome,
You know what
man.
I mean?
Well,
So-
I thank you again for doing this. It was a great talk. Where can they find you on social media, and obviously Break Even, go watch it. It's on video on demand or wherever DVDs are sold.
It's like video on demand, all streaming platforms except Netflix. That's always a different deal. So Amazon, iTunes, Google Play, Vudu, Fandango, you name it, it's on those. It's at every Walmart, Best Buy. If you happen to have a DVD player, the box cover is sickly dope. So I would recommend getting it. It's just really cool. Box cover. And I've been actually watching my DVD, not even watching it on Amazon, just because I've been so long since I watched a DVD.
Right.
On Blu-ray, it's super cool. And also the DVD has they call it treasured extras, the bonus footage and stuff that didn't make it into the movie. Some really good scenes that didn't make it. But it gives you a little bit more of an outlook on some of the stuff we filmed and some behind the scenes. So that's this little extra something that comes with a DVD. Yeah, Instagram, it's Erik Fellows Official. So it's ERIK Fellows, FELLOWS Official. Anything with a check mark is really me. Facebook, same thing, Erik Fellows. If it's a check mark, I do have a personal account, but there's a lot of crazies out there that think that they're me. So be careful with them. And Twitter, I don't use Twitter that often, but I do have a Twitter. Again, Erik Fellows, check mark, that's me. And then I just recently got on Cameo.
Okay, cool.
Yeah, super cool. I've been doing I did a handful of them with some of the fans, and asking some interesting questions and some singing from me. So I'm not a singer at all, but they've gotten, I think, a funny laugh out of it. So I've been offering some holiday songs. I don't know, just to make them laugh.
That's sweet.
So check it out. Oh, and also my series that's out now. Completely forgot to 2 series. Completely forgot to say this. My Amazon Prime show that I've been on for 6 seasons, the Bay, the series, has been around a while. So Amazon Prime, the Bay 6th season is airing on Popstar TV and Amazon Prime. Okay. And my other series where I play a bad guy, I play the role of Bobby. He is a ex-con murderer and is like kind of in the vein of like Clue, but it's basically these 12 different characters have been invited to this New Year's Eve event, lured there from this invitation, all there for one particular reason, for one person's murder, but we're all tied together in some sort of way. So they lure us to this cave where we are trapped and now fending for our lives to get out. And I do some really mean, awful things, but I make sure I give it a little charm and some smiles in there while I'm doing it.
That's the way to do it. If you're going to be bad, you got to get the charm out.
Yeah, so you got to love you while you're killing them, man.
Yeah, absolutely.
So yeah, check it out. Purgatory on Popstar TV. Full season 1 is out now.
That sounds awesome. Awesome. Cool, man.
I like it. So cool. Thank you for having me, man. I appreciate it.
Yeah, thank you. All right.
Pew pew audio. Goodbye, everyone.